morning and welcome back to the channel. Now, you've heard me talking about looking down at my feet probably as long as this channel has been in existence. I love to hunt out little intimate scenes with the camera. So why do I enjoy it so much? And what? Just very quickly, we've been having very high low tides, and it's low tide in about an hour's time. And some chap came down and said, "So do you reckon I'll be able to get up that way?" And I'm like, "No, we've had very high low tides. But do you reckon I'll be able to get up that way?" No. And even though it looks like you will, you'll still get, "I'll give it a go." And you probably heard him saying, "I see what you mean. It just came in over my feet." So not only why do I love it, but also why would I encourage you guys to give it a whirl as well? There's a couple of reasons why I love it. Number one, I find that looking for the more intimate scene, the quieter scene, the scenes that most people pass by, it engages me more. I love coming down to an area like this here, and we had some beautiful colour this morning. I love coming down to an area like this and yes, taking in the grander view. But personally speaking, it doesn't engage me as much. And I certainly find it more challenging to connect with the images that I make in the wider vista compared to those scenes that are much more intimate, much more hidden. And I think that's because looking for and composing and working on a more intimate scene takes time. Quite often you're dealing with small areas, maybe only a couple of meters squared, if that. And even very small movements with the camera can dramatically change the composition. So you're much more kind of engaged and I guess mindful of your surroundings. I find if we have a big blasting sort of bit of light, sunshine, whatever coming through, you're almost running around looking for compositions and firing off and running on. And again, nothing wrong with that. But me personally, I get much more engaged with my work, with the landscape around me, when I'm more mindful of the scenes in front of me, and that comes more naturally with those more intimate scenes. Another reason why I love the more intimate scene is because it can feel very personal to me. Even just today on this beach, footprints walking on by a scene of, for me, beauty. And that to me tells me that people are kind of oblivious to that beauty below their feet. And even in a well-photographed location like the Causeway Coast where I am now, you can make a scene your own. You can make a collection of work your own. And that kind of fires me up a lot more than coming and taking the standard shot. And again, this is not to say that you shouldn't be taking those standard shots that, they're well photographed for a good reason. They're beautiful locations. But for me, I love to come away from a location with something that's personal to me. Now, on the flip side, personal to me may not engage with others. But again, as I've said many times on this channel before, this photography journey is for me and me alone. If other people get inspiration or happiness or joy from my images, then that's a bonus. So not only engaging with the scene in front of me, but being able to come away with something that's more personal to me and my journey. Thirdly, I think the more intimate scene can be a little bit more forgiving when the light isn't ideal. Now, don't get me wrong, it is beautiful to photograph intimate, more personal scenes when you do have some lovely light. And in fact, that's what we had this morning. Not anything sort of great shakes for the bigger vista, but it was just beautiful, just casting some lovely early morning pre-sunrise glow on some of the little patterns that we had. But even in the conditions have got extremely overcast here, and this can be a very good time to photograph the more intimate scene, because you're not going to be getting the harsh shadows and the harsh contrasts. So when you think the light has kind of disappeared, that's the end of the photography journey, perhaps it's time to start looking below your feet, start looking for the more intimate scene. And I find this can be a good thing to practice when you're at a location perhaps that you're not going to get a lot of chance to return to. Perhaps you're on a workshop, or perhaps you're traveling there, and rather than walk away completely deflated because the light wasn't as you had hoped, when is it? You can carry on making the most of your time by starting to look for that more intimate scene. And there's some days actually that I purposefully go out when it's a bit softer light, a bit kind of more overcast, because I know that some of the scenes that I want to shoot are going to be perfectly suited for the conditions. So it allows you to carry on shooting even when, as would be the case this morning, the wider vista perhaps isn't going to play ball. So there you go, just 3 little reasons why I love to look below my feet. I love to look for the more intimate scene. It engages me and connects me more to the landscape that I'm shooting in. I hopefully can come away with an image that is more personal to me, more personal to my own photographic journey. And lastly, it actually extends the amount of time that I can spend in the field with the camera, even when the conditions don't seem conducive to regular sort of standard vista type photography. So I would encourage each and every one of you to give it a go. Next time you're out with a camera, next time you're out for a walk, even with your phone, start to look below your feet. Start to look for the more intimate scene. And hopefully, like me, you'll get a huge amount of joy and encouragement from doing it. Well, what I'll do is I'll throw up a little bit of footage and a couple of images from my own session this morning, looking below my feet. I hope you enjoy the images. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.